Good afternoon, Mr. McIntosh. This is Robin Phillips, commissioning editor for radio drama at BBC Radio 4. I'm very well, Mr. McIntosh, thank you. Oh, okay, as you wish. Mac? Now then, you will no doubt remember that you recently submitted a play to our drama department here at Radio 4. Well, you'll be interested to hear that it made a significant impression over there, so much so that they forwarded it on to me. Now, I don't usually accept unsolicited material, but considering the gravity and, dare I say, probable popularity of the subject matter, as well as the obvious quality of the writing, I'm delighted to inform you that we'd very much like to produce your play here on Radio 4. Absolutely, absolutely. However, I do have one small concern. No, don't worry, don't worry. It's not insurmountable. It's nothing a few cuts here or there won't sort out. You see, Mac, I'm very well acquainted with our target audience here at Radio 4, and they're not as hip as you or I. Let me take you through a typical day in the life of a Radio 4 listener. She gets up after a short lie. They're generally retired, albeit having taken early retirement in some cases, throws on her Marks and Spencer's clothes, has a breakfast of what used to be marmalade on toast that she used to buy from Sainsbury's, but now pushes the boat out and shops for muesli at Waitrose. Whilst listening to Radio 4, naturally, she flicks through the Times or the Telegraph, perhaps lingering over the last-minute travel deals to what once would have been Malta or Madeira, but now increasingly is proving to be Goa, Cuba, and Bangkok. She may be branching out culturally, but her feet are still firmly buckled into her Clark's sandals, so to speak. Thank you, Mac, thank you, but no self-respecting commissioner would be without their demographical studies. Oh, no, don't get me wrong, don't get me wrong. I really think that your play will speak to our listeners. I have no doubt that it will both inform and entertain. The thing is, Mac, you are going to have to lose the swearing. Yes, I know it's a play about a young man with Tourette's syndrome. As I said, it's a fine subject matter. I'm not objecting to the topic, just some of the language. Yes, well, it may be a warts-on-all portrayal, but I can assure you that our target audience does not take very kindly to smut. If only the main character didn't swear so much, we'd have no problem in producing the play. I mean, after all, Mac, there must be more to Tourette's than just profanity. Well, what about the facial tics or the involuntary spasms? Yes, it is a radio play. That's a very fine point. But in its present form, though, there is no way that it's going to get past Joanna, our head of broadcasting. Yes, she has already expressed some grave concerns over your choice of words. Well, for example, if we changed this fuck to damn and this shit to say do, then we might just get away with it. Oh no, I'm not convinced that it'll lose any of its integrity, Mac. Yes, I understand that there is a level of humour in the writing, but you must understand that the BBC has to operate under some very strict guidelines. Besides, in my experience, audiences never find rude words amusing. Well, they see it as a substitute for good writing and simply a way of getting a cheap laugh. Well, for instance, I can't see them finding anything remotely amusing in Spunk Bubble or Throbbing Wang, and Double Twatted Lesbo Badger just isn't going to impress anyone. Well, could we not tone down some of the language then? If we could reach a compromise, then I may be able to get her to agree to some of the absolutely necessary expletives. Fine. Let me call Joanna and I'll get straight back to you. Okay. Bye for now. Bye. Bye, bye, bye. Bye, bye. Bye, 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 bye. Hello, Joanna. It's Robin. Joanna. Do you remember that play we spoke about the other day? The Tourette's one-off 30-minuter? Yes, that's the one. That's the one. Well, listen, I've spoken to Mr. McIntosh, and he's said that as long as we maintain the artistic integrity of the piece, he has agreed for us to moderate some of the language so as not to cause any offence to our audience. I'm certain that if we can get a firm grasp on it, we can really pull it off to a satisfactory conclusion. Yes, yes, of course, of course. Right, first of all, where do you stand on Fanny? Not a fan. And Prick? Well, that's good to know. That's good to know. Also, I've got a couple of bollocks here. Do you want me to cut them? That is a good point. We probably need to trim those as well. Also, would you consider 4 nipples in exchange for 2 huge tits? That sounds reasonable, as long as I can have the wank immediately afterwards. Yes, I'm well aware that this is no laughing matter whatsoever. But the last thing that I would want to do is underestimate or alienate our audience. Right. So if correct terms are acceptable, then I assume you'd be okay with cunnilingus? Well, I can see where you're coming from, but I'm sure 2 cocks wouldn't be too damaging. I mean, we really have to make sure that Mr. McIntosh is happy as well, Joanna. Otherwise, I fear he may pull out altogether. I tell you what, we can always take them out for now and then stick them back in later. Yeah? Excellent. Excellent. Now, was there anything in particular that you wanted to point out? When was that exactly? Next to the clitoris? All right, give me a second. No, I'm so sorry, Joanna. I can't seem to find it. Yes! Yes. Got it. Well, when you look at that. Anyway, there are definitely some things that I would prefer taken out myself. I mean, that inflatable butt plug just doesn't sit very well with me. And I think we really need to remove all references to the menstrual cycle. Period. Well, I'd rather not let the pace drop, especially with such an explosive climax. Fantastic. Joanna, if you're happy, then I'm happy. Okay. Bye. Bye, bye, bye. Bye. Mac, it's Robin again. Great news. I've just spoken with Joanna and we have reached an agreement. We've had to change some of the dialogue, but she's extremely excited about the play, Mac, extremely excited. And you'll be happy to know that both vibrating love eggs, they're staying in. Yeah, I understand. I understand that you're wary of making such a compromise, Mac, but let me tell you this. If all my experience has taught me anything, it's that producing a play entirely dependent on the expression of filth, obscenity, innuendo, it's an extremely bad idea. Okay, bye.